like Instagram set up. I meant to get it done this week, but didn't spend enough time doing it.
Wait.
Like going live on Instagram.
Oh, okay.
Also, I do want to test some other stuff too with the stream because I don't like the fact that we have like Zoom live on Instagram.
Oh, okay.
Zoom on as a logo in our thing. So I want to try to get rid of that eventually.
That's smart.
Yeah, well, it's gonna take some time, unfortunately. But
All right. Yeah. Your mic is going in and out tonight, man.
can you hear me?
Yeah, I can now.
All right, yeah. Give me 1 second while I adjust things. Yeah. Let me close some shit on my window. Yeah. I think I already told you, like I realized like what my problem was is actually my computer chip is bad. So I need to build a new laptop and I've been researching or a new desktop and I've been researching that this week. So I'm gonna start buying the pieces very soon.
What's up, man? That's exciting right there.
Small.
Love
Yeah,
that.
I mean it's gonna take some time though, unfortunately. But you
Oh,
know,
of course.
but yeah. At least I was able to find the solution. How are you?
Good, man. Still dealing with this house stuff, man. Moving and closing and all that stuff. It's a big deal.
It's a huge deal.
So HOAs like trying to do these last minute inspections and
Yeah.
all this stuff. So
We missed last week too, and I had a nice fresh haircut right before, and you're like, we're not doing it. I'm like, shit. So I'm like,
good. It's about time. Because that always happens to me. You're like, oh, I need to cancel. It's like, dude, I just went to the barber. I'm glad that it's finally happening to you.
Fuck
it's
you.
about time.
I try. I don't think I cancel often. So whatever.
Shut up. Shut up.
I can't make fun of him today.
Right.
So yeah, my computer's being a little bit weird, but you know it's fine. We're gonna continue. So no, thank you guys for joining in on this very special day. You know, happy Mother's Day. So let me say happy Mother's Day to Candace. Nicholas, tell her I said that.
Maybe.
Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers that watch this show. Happy Mother's Day to my mother and my sister and whatnot. And on that note, let's kind of switch topics to a law that kind of on how we're trying to control women's on this day where we celebrate women. Let's talk about how we're trying to control their bodies. So just also an FYI too for those who are watching, in the descriptions for the live streams now, I actually have I have something called a paste bin, and what that does is that just shows the links of like all the resources that I've gotten. So
nice. Okay.
On what I'll be referring to. I don't have any notes today, but what I'll be referring to for the Roe v. Wade situation that's happening now. So let's get into it. We have a lot to get into. We only dedicate ourselves like an hour.
A lot of stuff going on. A lot of stuff going on tonight.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and get started. All right.
And his mic is out again. So it falls to me. Once again.
No, my mic's back. Is it back?
Oh, there he is. Yes, it's back. It's back.
Oh, this stupid chip thing. Okay, anyway. You're ready, like it falls to me. Fine, I'll do it myself.
Thanos.
Yeah, no, so as we get started into this, So big news last couple of weeks. Supreme Court, there was a leak about a upcoming opinion. One of the drafts leaked, and it appears that it's the framework of overturning Roe v. Wade, right?
Huge.
Um, it's a this draft, this opinion piece, or this opinion draft actually, that's stated by the Supreme Court, is going to go through many iterations, but it seems pretty clear that like Roe v. Wade's days are numbered. And
Yes.
I remember, let's kind of talk a little bit about what Roe v. Wade is. And we did a podcast episode on this. Damn it, you know what? I should have added to our freaking
And just add it to the paste bin. We'll add it to the video on
yeah, so
YouTube as
we'll
well,
do it
man.
again. I'll probably redo the paste bit or something. But we should just let you guys know we did a episode on Roe v. Wade a couple months ago.
Because we care.
Because we care. We actually do care. And it's telling that we're at this space now. I remember, so a couple years ago, actually, I remember dating this woman who was a court interpreter. And we had
Let me sit back on this one.
you can enjoy this. But with this conversation, so with Trump coming into office and like electing, not electing, but appointing just more conservative like justices, and her being a court like reporter and whatnot, right? We kind of got a discussion about what does the Supreme Court do, right? And what they do is that they normally don't break other decisions that are been made, right? So Roe v. Wade, which happened in 1972, over the last more than 40 years, has been just through so many attempts to try to kind of get rid of it. And what she told me essentially was that, look, they're not going to get rid of it because they have a history of upholding previous decisions, right? I kind of wish I can call her up right now because I could be like, well, that doesn't look like to be the case anymore.
History doesn't matter.
Yeah. I mean, no, but there have been cases where like, so there've been a conservative majority for just about for the last 50 years, it's been a conservative majority, right? Republicans have picked 11 justices, right? While Democrats have picked only 4, right? And I think the last like 50 years, right? So there's been a lot of precedents to get rid of Roe v. Wade, and that's what both political parties actually do use as a calling cry to empower their voters, right? Conservatives will use it to say, hey, we gotta, protect, the unborn child, which we're gonna get into later. Democrats want to protect the women's rights, right? And be pro-choice, right? And we're kind of at this place now where it looks like it's going to go away. And I want to point out that 3 of the Supreme Court justices that were picked in this Supreme Court, right, were by a president that was impeached twice and lost the popular vote twice. Okay, just to put that out there, right? Like the Supreme Court is definitely not a representation of the population of the United States. It's just because of the politics behind appointing Supreme Court justices, right? And like, let me kind of stop there, and I want to kind of just bring you in to get your like opinion, because I can go on to this for like a while, but like just like your thoughts on this.
So yeah, when I saw the headline pop up, obviously, I had to click on it, right?
Yeah.
With this leak, I almost have the question of whether or not it's an actual leak or an accidental leak, or somebody was just like, this needs to be made public. You know what I mean?
It's not accidental. It wasn't accidental.
But let's take a look at Roe versus Wade, though, right? So like that decision was basically calls in the due process clause of the 14th Amendment and the right to privacy, right? And so basically, that they said that protected a pregnant woman's liberty to choose whether or not to have the child. And so some of the verbiage in the leak was basically saying that it didn't apply, pretty much. It was just a total about face on the entire decision.
Yeah.
Questioning everything, which, you know, I just think the whole thing is questionable, honestly. Like, I don't see how you can suddenly question that, right? I mean, if you know, you have a right to privacy, that means you have a right to choose what to do,
Yeah.
With your body, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you know, folks try to talk about things from like a religious perspective, but I mean, that's why we have the separation of church and state, right?
Yep.
So, you know, the decisions that you make, it's not really for me or anyone to judge you on, right? I mean, at the end of the day, like you judge, you know, you get judged by, you know, by God, by the maker, you know, whoever you believe in or whatever. So, I mean, I just, when I was reading it and the tone of the opinion was just very condescending. It just, it was just like a level of, to me, it's just like a level of unprofessionalism in the opinion, right? Like it's one thing to question something or to say that you don't agree, but the way that the words were written, it was just like, it was a very condescending tone or whatever. So it was something that, you know, I didn't appreciate. Like it's one thing to say like, hey, like we're overturning this because of this, and this. And I mean, not that I agree with that at all, because I don't. But it's one thing to do that, and it's another thing to just like put everything down, because I mean that is, so if you're putting it down and you're questioning the right to privacy, then I have to wonder, like, well, you know, how are we defining someone's right to privacy then, right? Like, how are we? Mm-hmm. I almost feel like they're redefining that now. So you know, if you're taking away people's rights to have an abortion, I mean, what's next, right? Then nothing's private at that point, right?
Yeah.
It makes me question a lot of things. It brings into question a lot of things.
Oh yeah. Well, it makes you wonder questions. So can we now like pin people down and force them to have a vaccine shot now? Like
I mean,
that's the case. So
right. I feel like, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, so you take away the mandate for the masks and the vaccines and all this stuff.
Oh yeah.
But you take away a woman's right to choose to have an abortion. Yeah. So I can choose to have a vaccine, but I can't choose to have an abortion. It sounds like hypocrisy to me.
Oh, it's right? The height of hypocrisy.
Right.
The total height of hypocrisy. One thing in one of the references that I posted too. Man, I wish I posted our I can't believe this is the lack of foresight on my part. Our previous talk on this too, and I didn't get a chance to watch it because I was watching something else, which we're going to get into later today as well. But no, I did look at like I went back and looked at the confirmation hearings for some of the Supreme Court justices and how they all talk about how, yeah, Roe v. Wade, that's the law of the land, right? And they're going to uphold that, right? And I'm sure they will write this opinion in such a way where they're not appear to be lying under oath, right? Like these guys are all lawyers and they know the law and know the Constitution, so they don't want to incriminate themselves. I don't think there is a way for them to incriminate themselves, but it's truly amazing how it's amazing the typical gaslighting, right? Of just saying, oh yeah, no, I'm going to protect this or this is why, and then like as soon as they get in the position, right, it's like, you know, about face, right? I mean, you probably see this like in our offices all the time, where you have like these coworkers. I've had this problem with my last project too, where they'll say the nicest things in front of you, and then
of course
turn it around, you know, and just say all this just fuck shit like behind your back, whatever. And it's just
everybody does that though. I'm not even, you know, that's human nature.
Yeah, sure.
It is.
It is sure. I mean, I don't think I've ever insulted someone behind their back without at least saying it into their face in some shape or form, right? Giving
I don't know, man. We talk about Omar a lot. Let me stop. Let me stop.
I
Let me
talk about
stop.
Omar to Omar in his face too. Like all the time. Yeah. No, but yeah, we're going off on a tangent right there. But yeah, it's just there's just so much that I can kind of get into that. And it's really just frustrating and scary. Do you think it's gonna be enough to invigorate like the left, right? And if it does invigorate the left, will they do what they need to do to protect women's rights to like women's like right to choose, right? Because it kind of seems clear to me, right?
They're trying to use it. They're
You
trying to
have
use
like
it as a trumpeting call, right?
yeah, there's probably going to use a trumpeting call, right? But what do you need to do to kind of ensure that they have like women have this right to choose? You need to have there need to be legislation, and you need to have you know the right members in the Supreme Court to back the legislation, right? So you're gonna
I
have to
mean,
expand the court, right?
well,
And you have
what?
to win the midterm elections, which I don't see ever happening.
So I think you gotta back up a little bit, right? Because I mean, let's say they make this decision, they overturn Roe versus Wade,
Mhm.
right? So once something like that is done, that requires like once something is tried in the Supreme Court, like you can't bring the same thing back up again, right?
Yeah.
That means that there needs to be a new case now
Yeah.
brought to the Supreme Court, and it has to be some new angle, right? It has to be something new to get them to look at it again.
Yep.
Right. So from that standpoint, I feel like that's going to be very difficult to do. I think the only thing that you can do is, you try to motivate your base, your voter base, right?
Mhm.
And that means that you're going to have to go vote at the state level now, right? At the federal level, Supreme Court has overruled it. Government can't do anything. So now we're going state by state, right?
Yeah, that's what's
You
going to
already
happen.
got Texas and was it Mississippi, Alabama, Louisiana?
Texas, they say there's going to be at least 26 states that will move to prohibit abortions.
Yeah.
I think 22 to 26 states. It's in my resources that I posted.
And it's funny, so what I was reading was something about like I think some of the laws are like, it's not just preventing abortions, but like you can't have an abortion after like 2 weeks, right?
Yeah.
And as somebody who's watching their loved one go through the pregnancy process, 2 weeks into a pregnancy, a lot of women don't have no idea that they're pregnant. You know what I'm saying? So that makes it next to impossible to have the abortion unless like you're really in touch with your body or whatever. But a lot of they have no idea. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you're pretty much taking it away like off rip. But I think that I mean we're just gonna have to go to the state level.
Yeah.
And vote in people to do that. And we already know, like, the presidential election is the main one that most people vote in. I was one of those people for years, right? So to get people like involved in the state government, the state lawmaking process, I think it's going to be, I think it's a difficult task. It's a tall order.
Yeah. Yeah. Last thoughts on this one too for me. And I think I may have mentioned this in our last discussion on Roe v. Wade, is that over the last couple of decades, right, abortions have decreased, right? The rate of abortions have decreased. And the reason why that's the case is because we have better access to healthcare and access to contraceptions, right? And I think what frustrates me about these people that are trying to protect, the lives of unborn fetuses is that you're trying to hide that what you call a noble kind of reasoning to use that to control women's bodies, right? Like again, when the law happened, right? So abortions are now are happening at a less rate now, like in today, as opposed to when before Roe v. Wade came into effect, right?
Right.
So like abortions happening at a less rate now than it did 40 years ago. and it had its biggest decline under President Obama. Not that President Obama did anything particular to end abortions, but it just shows a trend that's kind of been happening. So I think you mentioned
Start
earlier,
educating,
very
do a better
hypocritical.
job of. You gotta start doing a better job of educating people. So I think that's one thing that has increased, right? I mean, you educate, kids about contraception and birth control, and make those things
Available.
more available.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's helped reduce the number of abortions as well.
Yeah, mandate that instead of mandating people's bodies, right? It's so funny. There's like the Hobby Lobby case that part of they don't want to allow, because they're like a very religious organization, they don't want to allow women to have like contraceptions as part of their healthcare, right? And they stake that on like religious freedom. But like like I said, like you said earlier, it's a real huge hypocrisy.
Yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous, man.
Yeah, it's truly ridiculous. All right, so we hit up with that one. Let's actually move on to another woman that's kind of making news. So Karine Jean Pierre, you heard about her?
I did. You told me about her.
Yeah.
You told me about her, man.
Yeah.
Making big moves out here.
News. So as you know, the current.
And he's out again.
Am I back?
Yeah.
Am I back? So what's so funny is that like I'll get a notification that says like you're low on resources.
Gracious.
Yeah, that happens. Anyway, so Jen Psaki, she's leaving. She's gonna like take a job as like a correspondent on MSNBC, and Biden has appointed let me make sure I have her name correct. Karine Jean Pierre, right?
Okay.
Okay. Want to make sure I had the names correct. My friends got me down on me for like missing names. Who will be the first Black and first member of the LGBTQ community to hold that position. So definitely congratulations to her. Right.
Press secretary, yeah.
Yeah, for the press secretary. Like, what are your thoughts on that? So, like, still no Voter Rights Act or no Police Act reform, right? But you are seeing him, Joe Biden, put the first Black woman in Supreme Court, and now first U.S. press secretary, first Black woman as vice president. What are your thoughts?
So I wish I could bring the quote back up, but I, of course, like now that I have a reason to say it, I forget it. Well, basically, there's a quote from Malcolm X where he was basically saying that, Black people will get symbolic victories over anything that's actually like worthwhile. You know what I mean? So things like this, things like the Black woman being appointed to the Supreme Court, things like Juneteenth, et cetera, and
things that are performative.
Stuff like that, right? It's great. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm very happy to see that. I'm very happy to see those strides being taken.
Yeah.
I'm very happy for my daughters to be, they'll learn about this stuff in school, right? I hope so. Right. Well, that's another thing.
That's another one.
Right. Yeah.
Critical race theory is racist.
that's my trigger. You know what I'm saying? All Black history stops at Malcolm X and Martin Luther King, as far as they're concerned. So I'm very happy. But again, like it's a symbolic gesture. I feel like you know what I'm saying. There's some real issues that need to be resolved. But very happy for her, and I hope she does a great job so that more diversity, more people of diverse backgrounds will be able to fill these high-ranking positions.
Yeah. I do think the Supreme Court justice is a little bit more than symbolic, just because you put her in a decision-making role, right?
Yeah.
Now, mind you, the vice president and press secretary definitely a little bit more symbolic in the sense that constitutionally, like the vice president doesn't really have any power, just to kind of support the president and just be in kind of second place should anything happen to the president. It's probably more important now than any other president, since that this one's the oldest president ever, right?
Yeah.
So, there's that to kind of consider. But yeah, I mean, I think mostly you're right though, in the sense that like you appreciate the gesture, of course, right? But like there's so many things that can be done to kind of help close the gap that we see in like racial wealth and like socioeconomic status between races that is not being taken, right? It's almost like for example, I always find this interesting how if you look at the D&I lead off of like in every like head company almost is like a Black woman, right? So it's like we acknowledge that Black women are kind of the bottom of the totem pole here, but we expect them to kind of fix these problems, right? And in a lot of ways too, right? A lot of these people get these positions kind of by playing the game and kind of appealing to kind of the white people that put them in this position, right? So I remember like a D&I lead for Apple a couple of years ago. She actually went publicly and said this, and she promptly resigned like afterwards, where she said she was the D&I lead for Apple. After she said that, she's like resigned. Where she said it is possible to have like diverse ideas from like only white people in the room, or like 12 white guys, and I was like, no. How diversity works. Yeah. So there's that too, right? Like, should an African American get appointed right to a position like there, are they really invoking change, right, per se, right? You know, that's a different story than just actually appointing someone there. And yeah, that's something that we just need to kind of keep in mind, right? I'm sure it probably makes you feel better about yourself, like, you know, there's a kind of Black person there, you know, we're diversifying, but right, gotta do better with
the actual laws and policies that
the hard
are harmful to
the hard work,
Black and brown people, yellow, you know, Asian people, whatever, you know what I mean? Like,
and one side note on this too, like those who are against like equality, right? It frustrates me because it's like, well, who are you like catering to? You're catering to like a bunch of fucking racists. It's annoying and frustrating.
Of course.
And let's move on. we can get into that all day. I think was it this week? This week was the last week of Moon Knight. So the Oscar Isaacs miniseries that was on Disney Plus, and there's not going to be a season 2.
Right now, I feel like there is.
From what I heard, though, that that was only meant to be like a 1-season series.
That's what they're saying. I mean, that's actor speak.
Yeah, true. It wouldn't surprise me though if Moon Knight and some of the characters in Moon Knight were in different other like Marvel properties, which would be, I think, pretty cool thing to see. But what are your let me ask you, what are your thoughts on Moon Knight?
So the first few episodes, I was like, yo, this thing is all over the place.
Yeah, right? Like, I kind of felt that too.
I was watching like
I felt that.
a couple different people here or whatever. I was like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah.
But I feel like, you know, for me in some of these Disney series, like that's what I said at the beginning of a lot of them, right? Obviously WandaVision being like the worst part of that, but deservedly so. But it was like, so I was talking to some of my friends, right? And they were just like, Moon Knight isn't doing it for me. But as this joint went on, man, I feel like it got better. Like I kept getting, I was like more and more intrigued with the show. And, you know, it was like, I like the Egyptian deities and stuff that they had in there. Like, I thought that was really dope. I mean, they had me on Google, like, who's that? Who's Contra?
Yeah.
Who is you know,
They're all based off of real like deities.
Yeah, or
I would
who's the
say they did a
hippo?
little bit better than Gods of Egypt too, with their representation.
I'm not gonna talk about that.
I had to
I'm not
drop
gonna
that
talk
in there.
about that.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
I refuse to discuss Gerard Butler's turn as an Egyptian god. Please.
Gerard Butler and Jamie Lannister. In there.
But
Hey,
but no, I like by the end, like I was really like vested in that show, man. I was
yeah,
really curious about what's going on. And it was again like it was all over the place.
yeah,
And I think legitimately this is one of the ones like the Mandalorian, Falcon Winter Soldier, and Moon Knight. I think these are, for me anyway, the ones that are the most rewatchable. Right. I feel like I would go back and watch Moon Knight again to see what I missed.
yeah.
You had the that third personality. I think it's Jacob Lockley.
Jake Lockley, yeah.
Yeah. Maybe there's some other clues about him being there that I didn't see before. So yeah, I kind of want to go back and watch it to see if I can and see if I can see some of the other clues in there or whatever. But yeah, I mean, by the end, I was like, yo, I would like to see some more. I mean, you just introduced like this brand new character. I want to see like where the heck's this guy been at? Right?
Yeah. No. Yeah, no. I think the first episode was kind of like in my end of the series, and I started really liking it afterwards. So I trying to figure out following the character. He did a really good job with it's called the dissociative like identity disorder, is what it's called.
Yeah.
And Oscar Isaacs is a great actor. Let me just start there. He's an amazing actor. And
he should get an award. He should get an award for this role, I feel like.
Yeah. And let me tell you, what did it for me in this series was the second to last episode. Episode 5. For starters, I like the short miniseries format because it's not like going on and on and on. But like episode 5, like when he was in the Duat, I think is what they're called, but he was actually in like the psychiatric, which is kind of a representation of him on the boat, and him kind of going through his history and how Steven was created and how he was created and all that stuff. That's what did it for me. That's what I was like, man, this is a good ass fucking series. Like he is killing it right now. And kind of seeing how his mother struggled with mental health, how he struggled with mental health.
His upbringing was crazy because the whole time you're at least for the first few episodes, I'm thinking that Steven is like the main dude, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know a whole lot about Moon Knight, but I know it's Mark Spector that's supposed to be the dude. So I'm like, Steven cat. We're spending a lot of time with Steven. And then as the show went on, things kind of flipped, and then now I'm spending more time with Mark.
Yeah.
And that reveal when it was Mark who basically like made up Steven in his childhood.
Yeah.
Blew my mind.
Yeah. No, it was great.
Right.
It was great. No, I mean, and that whole third like part of it too, like when they're inside that area, it killed it for me. A little hint of like Jake Lockley too, and they hinted throughout the series a little bit too. One of the hints was that when he was releasing everyone from like the sarcophagus that they're stuck in, like when he released Stephen Grant from the sarcophagus, right? They saw a third sarcophagus, second sarcophagus there, right? Which ideally is supposed to be Jake Lockley. And we talked about this on the podcast too, like about the third personality there too.
Yeah.
I thought that the reason why that their hearts didn't balance had something to do with the fact that the third heart wasn't there, right? But they seem to balance when they got rid of Stephen Grant, which doesn't really make sense because he's probably the best part of Stephen. I mean, of that personality.
Well, they balanced when he came to terms with what happened in his childhood, right? Because it was like, he didn't. They didn't. It was stuff that he was, because it was stuff he was trying to block out.
Balancing. Remember, they started balancing, right? Until they got to the door, and then Chawat said, "I'm sorry, your heart's never balanced. Your souls will be like consumed by the Dewat now." And that's when the Dewat, those guys started like attacking him. And then Steven was like, "Oh, Mark, you got this," and he goes, "Wait, but I'm you. That means I also got this too." And he started helping him, and that's when he fell over. So his heart's never balanced at the very end, right? Which is why Steven fell over. I don't know why that's the case, but maybe because there's a third heart there. I don't know.
I don't know. It seemed I don't know, man. Because it seemed like there was a point when they did balance.
Well, they were balancing.
Right?
It wasn't bad, right? It was they were getting closer, right, throughout the series, right? I mean, throughout the time there. Watch episode 5 again. Just go ahead and watch episode 5.
That's what I'm saying. But that's my point. This is one that you really need to go back and watch.
Yeah,
I feel like, right?
Yeah. So no, but I really liked it. Probably maybe a little bit of recency bias here, but it's probably like that 5th episode was it for me. I was like, man, that's a freaking good ass episode. Really love the Scarlet Scarab. And that actress that played her, I think they kind of alluded to her being like just a kick-ass actress the whole time because she was just kicking ass and taking names.
Yeah.
So she became a superhero at the end. I like that part too, where the woman asked the girl asked her when she saves the little girl, she goes, "Are you an Egyptian superhero?" She goes, "Yeah." Right.
Yeah, I did like that.
Apparently, the director of the series didn't like how certain superheroes, I forgot exactly what who like certain like Egyptian superheroes were portrayed, right? So he kind of used that to say like, yeah, an Egyptian superhero. I forgot exactly what he was referring to, like what movie he was referring to though. I don't think it was Gods of Egypt.
Probably Gods of Egypt.
It was something else. It was definitely something else where like he didn't appreciate the I guess the lack of representation in terms of like Egyptian superheroes and whatnot. But
for sure.
Yeah. No, outside of that, great series. Check it out and watch it. Like again, Oscar Isaacs is a phenomenal actor.
He stepped this game up for sure, man. I'm hoping that like I'm hoping so. I mean, you have Thor, and Thor, was it Love and Thunder, Thunder and Love, or whatever?
Thunder and Love, yeah.
There's a point in the preview where you see him going to visit another pantheon of gods, right?
Yeah.
And you see Zeus and the lightning.
Zeus, yeah.
I mean, over the years, there's been such a focus on, the Viking deities, Greek deities,
the white deities,
Roman deities, all that stuff or whatever. You see nothing from Africa, like at all, right? And so that's the one thing that I was really excited about with the series. When they started talking about Khonshu and they started naming, some of the other deities.
Yeah.
The hippo one was hilarious to me, right?
So
do you want to be my
my avatar?
My avatar? Hey, you want to be my avatar? I thought that was hilarious. But it just puts I like the spotlight that it puts on it. I hope we see some more of that. Because there's a Black owned comic series. I'll put it in the YouTube links or whatever. But I ordered.
What you're talking about?
Yeah,
Black Sands or is it Dark Sands?
Black Sands.
Black Sands.
I ordered like a bunch of the books too. But they're doing their own spin on that type of stuff or whatever. Right?
Yeah.
So, that type of stuff. We need to see that type of stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
representation like matters. Like,
yeah.
So I had a colleague when I was living in Louisiana years ago. I appreciate his honesty, but he says that he didn't watch basketball because he didn't see enough white players in it. Right. And
maybe he should have been watching in the 40s and 50s.
Watch the old school basketball players
in the 60s.
Yeah, but that's what he specifically said though, right? He's like he doesn't watch, he didn't watch it because of like white players. And I was like, well, what about like Dirk Nowitzki and Steve Nash and like those guys,
Luka, Joker, et cetera.
Yeah, well, this was like 10 years ago when I asked in the school. Okay.
Yeah.
but like Dirk Nowitzki and Steve Nash were in the league around that time. And he was like, yeah, but they're not American, right? Now I'm not gonna like, reprimand him for like what he's saying, but I will just point out, well, this is why movies like Black Panther was so important, right? This is
Exactly.
why like as performative as some of these moves are with like Joe Biden, right? Seeing that representation like ascend, right, does something for you, right? Um, that's why it's an important thing. So yeah, it's nice to see, right? It's definitely nice to see. We definitely haven't seen enough like Egyptian or African like deities or whatnot. So it's good to kind of bring that out and have like a whole series dedicated to that.
Yeah.
And definitely grateful to kind of see that as well. Um, I also wanted to say, and this is actually going to kind of a little bit to our next topic. Um, there was a bunch of King the Conqueror references in the Moon Knight series as well, right? So on the back of like one of like the Amit's leaders had a King the Conqueror like Rama Tutta or whatnot imagery, and there was a QR code that if you scanned it in the show, it would point you to like a King the Conqueror comic or whatever, right? That.
Hmm.
So it's actually, yeah. So King the Conqueror kind of makes his appearance there as well. And speaking of King and Conqueror, let's move to our next topic, a movie which I just saw today. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Um, man, it's a movie I saw it in 3D today
Oh,
too.
I don't even
So
bother with that. How was that?
I actually thought it was pretty good in 3D. So I definitely don't regret that. Um, but it was also said today, like the results of like what caused Multiverse of Madness was the result of Loki. That was actually said by Kevin Feige, right? With He Who Remains, one of the King um, variants gone, right? That helped. That actually would cause like this incident with like Doctor Strange, and then with Spider-Man as well. Um, I would say, I mean, I really like this movie. I would say that this movie probably should be called Wanda and the Multiverse of Madness instead of Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, because it really features her a lot. I like the first movie better. I'm sorry, I just do. I don't think this movie is bad by any means. I definitely think it's great. You show a little bit of it shows some growth with Stephen Strange in this movie. Not as much as you saw in the first one, right? Where he's like willing to like bend the rules when he needs to, and that doesn't really change in this movie as well. But
I
yeah, what are your
disagree.
thoughts?
I like this movie better. Um,
Really?
and
Okay,
and
I like the first one better. Okay,
this is my gripe with the first movie.
okay,
Because I also saw the animated movie too, which I thought was really well done.
yeah,
My gripe with the first movie was like it was like as somebody who like I know that he's going to be injured, right? So his origin I feel like was a little rushed, and the way they did it, I felt it was a little forced. Like, so it's like this dude like jumps out in his Lamborghini and drives like a freaking maniac.
just like
Yes,
an
you're going to
idiot.
crash and die, right?
Yeah,
Like
just like an idiot.
it just didn't make sense to me, right? Like
Well, he was careless.
the way that his accident was set up in the animated movie was so much better. Like
Yeah,
you didn't see this dude drive like an F1 driver. So I mean, this was just insanity. And then he's on the phone like screwing around. It's like, yes, I knew that I know that you're gonna mess it. Yes, you're gonna almost kill yourself, right? So with that kind of for me, that kind of hurt the movie a little bit. That first act. After
yeah.
that, it got way better. Like I really enjoyed the Doctor Strange movie. But that first act for me, I was just like, asshole, careless. Okay, you're gonna do something stupid. Okay, let's get the story rolling. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I was like,
It followed Iron Man a lot, right? Genius
yeah,
white guy, gets hurt.
Genius asshole learns, gets messed up, learns his lesson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
Right.
did it for
So
me for that first movie though? The reason why I liked it so much, ended up liking it so much, was the end, right? Where how he came from like you were just specks in an indifferent universe to and seeing those words being thrown back at him a little bit in a way, right? With not Mordu but Caecilius, right? Saying we're just in different, like, just specks in a different universe or whatnot, and him actually using himself, right, sacrificing himself to stop Dormammu,
I
right?
respected that. Yeah, I mean
Yeah,
that was
that's
hey,
that
it's a good
last part
movie.
to me was what did it to me,
Yeah.
because um like I think it went along with what the Ancient One said to him, where it was like, it's not about you, right?
Yeah.
Like your greatness prevents you from seeing like what you really need to see, that it's not about you, right? It's about everyone else, right? And I think that mentally, like, that's what affected him to kind of help Peter Parker in like Far From, like, No Way Home, right? Where it's like,
Yeah.
it's not about me, it's hurting a lot of other people, right? That's like, okay, I help out, right? Um Also, the same was what drove his decision to help to make that decision with an Infinity War, right? To kind of break the rule in Infinity War as well, right? Because the Sorcerer Supreme is supposed to protect the Time Stone, but he kind of made a sacrifice play, or his end game play, right? To give the Time Stone to hopefully invoke that, um, essentially a sacrifice Iron Man,
But
essentially,
he's
right?
he's not the Sorcerer Supreme yet, though. He's not
He
the
said
Sorcerer Supreme.
he's not the Supreme anymore.
He was never Sorcerer
He
Supreme.
was so supreme in let's make a bet on this. Let's make a
He's
bet on
not a
this.
Sorcerer Supreme, bro.
He was the Sorcerer Supreme in Infinity War. He
No,
was. Absolutely. You heard it here, guys. We're gonna make a
he's not.
bet. A
He was
gentleman's
never
bet.
he's never
He
been the
was the
Sorcerer
Sorcerer
Supreme, dog.
Supreme in Infinity War.
Where was it set?
This was set, so I can prove it to you right now. So when he was, I'm not gonna prove it to you because you have to just take my word for it, and you're not going to. But when he was taken by the alien ship, right? Wong specifically said, the Sorcerer Supreme, the Earth's without the Sorcerer Supreme, right? Things need to be ready, right? And then he goes, and then that's when he was talking to Bruce Banner, right?
Yes.
Also, in Far From Home, it was alluded to because Peter Parker was talking to Doctor Strange, and he goes, "Wait, aren't you the Sorcerer Supreme?" And he goes, "No," like, because it was Blip for 5 years that moved on to Wong, who wasn't Blip for 5 years. So he definitely was the Sorcerer Supreme.
Dude, Spider-Man No Way Home pretty much established the fact that Wong has been the Sorcerer Supreme because he's a longer tenured sorcerer.
No, he was the Sorcerer Supreme in Infinity War. I'm telling
Who
you, he
was?
was.
Who
Doctor
was?
Strange.
Dude, you have to find some proof.
I have to play the video for you. That's the only way I can do it. I
What
just told you the
video?
proof. You're not going to believe me because you have to take my word for it. But I could just show you the video. I mean, we'll do it later.
We'll have to find
In the next
this.
episode, you have to, whoever's wrong has to admit that they're wrong.
Of course, yeah. We'll never admit that we're wrong until
admit
we
that
see
you're wrong on the episode. I am
video
100% sure I'm right,
evidence.
though. All right. No, but back to this movie, though. So I actually really enjoyed this movie. Like, I thought that I knew the Illuminati. So what do you think about the Illuminati section, right, of it, right? I knew these guys were gonna get fought. I mean, by the way, spoilers, guys. Spoilers. We haven't spoiled anything yet.
You know what? I was clapping on the inside. I didn't clap in the theater, but when Professor X freaking rolled out there, well, first of all, when my guy John Krasinski, however you say his name, when I saw him as Mr. Fantastic, I was like, and then Professor X rolled out to the freaking X-Men theme.
Yeah.
Again, like, I'm clapping on the inside, right?
Yeah, the 87 X-Men, the little hover chair that he usually goes by. Yeah. A
So
lot of
then,
fan service there. A
yeah,
lot of
I
fan
mean,
service.
yeah,
All
oh
the
yeah, a
fan
lot of fan
service.
service. A lot of you had Black Bolt, who was. I feel bad for the guy because he was in that horrible TV show, uh, the Inhumans or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, but at least you got to see some of his power, which is dope. Because Black Bolt is a freaking problem.
He
You know
is
what I mean?
powerful. No match for Wanda
Um,
though.
so that was I was kind of just like I rolled my eyes during that scene a little bit, right? Because I was like, so the two male characters, of course, are destroyed like immediately, and then
Not true. Not true.
she has to
What's his face? Professor X was
again. No. I'm talking about like yeah, the first
yeah.
four it was Black Bolt and Mr. Fantastic. I knew Mr. Fantastic was going to die. I mean, what are you going to do? Honestly, you're going to. But it was just for
There have
me. It
been
was
more
like
powerful versions of
so.
Mr. Fantastic though.
I'm supposed to believe that like Peggy Carter, aka like Captain Britain or whatever in this reality, is supposed to be giving Wanda problems.
She didn't really give her a problem though. Like not really. Like
But it was like it was
she got like
like
maybe a hit-in.
she was getting like I said, but
She got like a hit-in.
she made her have to work for it, right?
No.
Where it was like Black Bolt and again Mr. Fantastic. I'm sorry, bro. Like yeah, you're out of your league, whatever. But I was like, fam, like I was like, are you what? And but Captain Britain is giving you problems? Huh? Is it the Shield? You know what I'm saying? Like they're actually playing,
Maybe.
they're playing catch with the Shield. All of a sudden now that they had it like Wanda was doing like hand-to-hand combat with it. If it took like 5 words for you to shut down Black Bolt, or 2 words, what mouth?
Yeah.
To shut down Black Bolt, I feel like you could have said something like, what legs the Captain Britain and kept it moving. You know what I'm saying? Okay, now she can't.
That's the problem with magic in general. That's the problem with magic in general. Like if we probably we and watch back both of these like these series, like we can probably just look at just a lot of plot holes and like we just in terms of just magic.
Yeah, I mean, again, I thought this was a better movie. Okay, because again, you hit from his you see some more growth as a character. He's still dealing with letting other people take control.
Yeah,
right. That's still like a running theme for him, right? Because he's been in control. He's an egomaniac, and you see it like kind of chipping away at that like little by little.
Good point.
You see the good in him.
Yeah.
He really wants to help this young lady, America Chavez, which I think she did an awesome job in this movie. You see him, really like wanting to help people, which is great, but there's still a part of him. The thing that holds him back is that ego, is that fact that he has to have control over everything. It's like once he learns to kind of let go and delegate, he'll be the Doctor Strange that he's supposed to be, right?
So to your point, you made a great point here. And this was actually alluded to with Christine Palmer, right? And because she initially said, like, when they had this conversation where she's like, look, you have to be the guy with the needle, with the knife in your hand, with a knife in your hand, right? And that gets turned around a lot. Like this was alluded to a little bit with like Defender Strange trying to take her power, and him saying like, hey, in the grand scheme of things, right, your deaths don't mean much in the grand calculus of like the multiverse or whatever, which is what was said during Far From Home, right? At the last act of this movie, right, was him coming to that realization and saying, like, America Chavez, like, essentially sacrifices us, like, you're gonna take my powers again, I understand, right? And he goes, you know what? I'm not going to control you, right? Like, you got this, right?
Right. I'm not going to tell you what to do.
Yeah, your power, whatchamacallit, brought us to the right place every time, right? So you can control, you just need to just believe in yourself, right? what I thought was really interesting too is this actually brought parallels back to X-Men Days of Futures Past, right? Charles, yeah, when Charles was in Raven's head, Mystique's head, and she was like, "Get out of my head, Charles," and he goes, and like Beast was telling him, "You got to get in her mind and shut her down," and he goes, "You know what? I've been trying to control you ever since we've met. You know, what happens now is up to you, is your decision. I have faith that you do the right thing," and she did the right thing eventually, right? And walked away. So I thought the interesting parallel there, which I find funny because the Charles Xavier, the Patrick Stewart in this movie, right, actually echoed a line from that movie, right? Saying just because someone stumbles or falls doesn't mean they're lost forever, right?
Yeah.
So those are great callbacks there. Looks like Mordo's still
they
Nick
do it, man. They do their
universe.
research, bro. I'll give it to them. They do their research. They do a great job with that, man.
Yeah, Mordo's still a dick in any universe, though. I'll say that.
Like him. I mean, yeah, he's still
a good character.
He's a jerk, but
yeah,
the way that he's used and the actor playing him,
yeah,
I'm a big fan of that guy. Like, I think he's done a great job with that role.
Yeah.
The other thing I liked about this movie is you have to forgive me because there's like 5 different strangers.
Yeah.
But there was a fight where he went with Christine to, I don't even know what universe it is. He goes back to the same. I think it's 838.
Yeah.
He goes back to the Sanctum Sanctorum to fight himself, and they had the fight with the music notes.
Oh, that was a great. Yeah, that's a good fight scene.
I was like, really this is dope.
That was really good.
And the way they had, like, he pushed the notes and you hear all the notes come off the papers, and then the guy like pushes the back.
Like, I forgot exactly the themes that they're making, but that was pretty creative. Yes,
I love that scene.
Yeah, I don't like horror movies. I usually don't watch horror movies.
I know I'm not a horror movie guy.
Yeah, and this has a lot of
horror movie vibes.
Yeah, I'm not a horror movie. I only watched Get Out. I didn't watch
Us.
those other Us. This Is Us.
Yeah.
And I probably won't watch Nope because he was not a horror movie guy.
Yeah.
But I did watch Get Out. But this had those horror movie vibes to it, and I thought it was actually just really, really, really good. So
yeah. And I kind of like that because it you could see the difference in between what it means to be a witch versus what it means to be a sorcerer.
Yeah.
So Wanda's powers were a little more on the spooky side.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And Stranger's powers were a little more on just like him having to like really like do a spell. You know what I mean? And that was another interesting thing. There was, whisperings about power levels and stuff, which is inevitable in when we're talking about superhero movies, right? But I really like how it was handled here because it was like, you remember after WandaVision ended, you saw her meditating with the Darkhold.
Yeah.
And the animations between that movie and this movie was the same, which means that when you saw her, she was looking throughout the multiverse then for her kids.
Yeah. So in the end of that series, she they showed her with the Darkhold, and actually the Darkhold was again taking hold of her, right? And like it showed like her kids like crying, crying out, right? So obviously she's looking for her kids, and right. It looks like also the Darkhold probably corrupted Agatha Harkness too, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So pretty interesting stuff. At the end of the day, the Darkhold essentially was able to curse like Doctor Strange too. Which was like the end credit scene.
It looks like it.
Yeah,
it looks like it. But I'll get the point I was making though. Like her study of the Darkhold gave her like all these crazy abilities.
Yeah,
and you kind of see Doctor Strange's thing is really like studying stuff and learning, right? You can see how he's continued to evolve. He hasn't studied a book with the same level of spells that she has, which is like the Vishanti or whatever the name of that book was or whatever.
Yeah.
But he was still doing some pretty dope stuff, putting her like in the mirror realm or whatever to try to trap. Like he was coming up with some cool stuff to try to trap her.
He's very creative. He's very creative. which is why I like the first movie so much, because his ending against like Dormammu was extremely creative. I would say this too. So a little on topic. I was gonna say off topic. It's a little on topic. I watched. You heard of Death Battle, right? We've talked about this on the show all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Death Battle. They just did a Death Battle recently between
Wanda versus
Zatanna, right?
Yeah.
And when I initially saw this, I was like, "There's no fucking way Zatanna wins this fight." Like, how is that even possible? Because Wanda, the Scarlet Witch, is one of the OP characters. Like, just truly overpowered. It's not even fun anymore. Which, by the way, Mara's been doing a pretty good job with this, by the way, of like, she's still overpowered. And I mean, of course, there's going to be some discrepancies, like that fight with the Illuminati, right? Where she takes out like the two guys in 2 seconds, and then the other guy, other people takes them a little bit longer.
Again, she had problems with Captain Britain.
I don't think she had problems. I just think it took a
little bit more time. Rewatch the movie. Because I was like, why are you trying to fight her? Like, actually fight her.
I'm not gonna
Huh? Did you
with you, but
actually fight Mr. Fantastic? No, you blew his ass up, right? Like,
he reached and she taught, and she was like, nope, blew his head up. So, by the way, I want to talk about that scene. That's the Illuminati. Like, you guys beat Thanos, right? Like, I know Wanda is powerful. Like, if you saw them beat Thanos had some of the Infinity Rings. Y'all beat Thanos, and you guys.
But they beat Thanos with Doctor Strange having to do some stuff that they didn't agree with, right? So one of their heavy hitters is out. Their magic user is out.
Enough. Okay, good point.
Right? Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
He destroyed another universe. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean,
what he did in the What If series.
Exactly.
Too. So he destroyed the universe in What If series.
Exactly.
Yeah. No. I thought this was a pretty solid movie. It looks like Charlize Theron got booked in this one. So
Leah.
So she's gonna do probably one more Fast and Furious movie, and then start getting in the MCU. Her name's Clea.
So she's supposed to be a love interest for Doctor Strange.
Yeah, they eventually get married. Which I can see. America Chavez. So interesting thing about America Chavez, they actually Saudi Arabia blocked Doctor Strange from being shown in their area because like she's an LBG character, right? And you can see in some of her in one of her like in her jacket there's an LBGT flag on it as well. Obviously, he has two mothers too. So that's why they blocked her in like Saudi Arabia. I don't know if they blocked her. I don't know. Was it this series or something else? I think it was. No, we can talk about it later. It's the Captain Marvel. Miss Marvel series. We can talk about that later. But yeah, no, it's a great series. I think she was a great job too. What I want to say this too. So this movie reminded me of a lot of other types of movies where they have like the guy protecting like the young girl. Like
Logan.
Logan is a great one. The Punisher season 2.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Very exactly the same premises, right? Where he was protecting this girl that was being hunted by a right-wing corporation. What's another one? Oh, have you played The Last of Us?
I have not.
Oh, well, The Last of Us, exact same premise, right? Where you have like this older man kind of protecting like Ellie, right? Throughout the whole like game. So it's that relationship and I'll admit too, that's actually a pretty good relationship between Doctor Strange and America Chavez, how that kind of grew right throughout the series, right?
I like that. I did like that.
Yeah,
I did like that a lot.
Because
and I like Wong. I was surprised. Now I thought Wong was fitting to die.
Yeah, I thought so too.
I thought Wong was done. I was like, okay, now we ascend to the Sorcerer Supreme status. Nope.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to figure out when my guy gets it here now. Like when do we?
He already got it in Infinity War. I'm telling you, he still wears the Eye of Agamotto.
That's great that he's wearing the
is,
Eye of Agamotto, but he's not the Sorcerer Supreme.
I'm not saying he's the Sorcerer Supreme. I'm saying
Okay,
he
so
was Sorcerer Supreme in Infinity War. That's when he was.
What made him? What made him the Sorcerer Supreme in Infinity War?
I don't know what he was the Sorcerer Supreme in Infinity War.
How? But that's the you have to become it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How do you become it?
So the Sorcerer Supreme died. So here's what I'm saying. The Sorcerer Supreme died in the first Doctor Strange movie, right? So between the first Doctor Strange movie, because he had the Eye Agamotto on, right? Remember in the first Doctor Strange movie, and he put it down, right? And then that's when Wong was like, good choice, right? You'll wear the Eye of Agamotto once you learn all its powers, right? And in Infinity War, he did have the Eye Agamotto
again,
on, right?
That didn't make him the Sorcerer Supreme.
Okay, you know what? When we're done with this, I'm playing
nobody
this
said
video.
Nobody said he was.
Fuck this! I'm playing this fucking video. Supreme. What doesn't matter when this is done. Fucking
right.
You know Nobody
said it. Nobody said it. Anyway,
he's fucking the Sorcerer Supreme. He was the Sorcerer Supreme in Infinity War. I want to say it right here, right now, in front of everyone. He was the Sorcerer Supreme in Infinity War.
Please go to the comments and remind Sahid that he is not, nor has he ever been the Sorcerer Supreme in this continuity. Thank you. Now, for our final topic of the evening.
Yeah. Actually, did we get to all of our topics? I think we have. Well, you want to? I was going to talk about Elon Musk, but we can talk about that later.
We'll talk about that next week because I think that's going to continue. That's going to continue to build on itself. It's going to be a heck of a situation right now. I'm actually excited to talk about that.
Shout out to my boy Kai. So Kai, I wasn't paying attention to like the chat. He was.
He agreed with me.
Yeah, he Kai's a coworker. So let me just say what's up to Kai. He also asked me what's up with the bots because apparently we had like a bot like chat like this like 6 times.
Oh.
Like naked HD XYZ. Here girls who do what you say. Like,
so Kai, let me tell you. No, stop. Sahid has a. He might not have known this. I've known Sahid for a while as well. He has a porn addiction, so obviously he's been doing a little too much watching, and he got caught with the bot.
Oh, what? What are you talking about? Yeah, I don't know what's up.
That's weird, man. I don't know how he picked those up.
I don't know how either. So yeah, we have to kind of figure something out. I was watching something like, yeah, YouTube has a problem with bots. They just do, and they need to do a better job of like deleting them. So I know there are like things that we can do to kind of do that. So
yeah, like if you want to disable comments and stuff. You're out. Oh, there you go. Say something.
Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah.
Good. All right. Let's go back.
So
let's go back to our last topic. We'll skip our Elon Musk topic. We'll go to our last one.
Yes. Let's get a little ignorant real quick.
Yeah, let's go to ignorant. I do. Before you get into this first, though, I want to say we wanted to stop doing kind of gossip type of stuff, and then Nicholas suggested this topic.
Well, this isn't gossip. This is just funny. This isn't gossip. Gossip was we were doing like the Will Smith stuff, and then everybody's talking about this Amber Heard and Johnny Depp nonsense or whatever.
That's not gossip either.
It is gossip. That's celebrity gossip.
So this one is it? That's no the Johnny Depp Amber Heard thing is something that's happening now, right?
It's still celebrity gossip.
Sure. Okay. Sure. This is gossip too in a way.
This is a story from the news.
It's nowhere. So is Johnny Amber Heard thing. That's in the news as well.
This is better.
and there was with Jada Pinkett Smith. That was also in the news. Like all this is in the news.
Well, the Will Smith thing.
I'm fucking with you, obviously. Let's get it.
Oh yeah, for sure. So basically, you know what I mean? When we talk about sex, it's a lot of different things that you can do, okay, to pleasure your partner. Okay. And there was a situation not too long ago where a young man took a young lady back home. She went down on him and then requested that he return the favor. This young brother refused. Upon the refusal, the young lady then pulled out a gun.
A gun?
And said, do it, or I'm going to shoot you. She fires the gun at this dude, missed, thank God. Homie ends up jumping out of like a second floor window as she continues firing like more shots. So I was just like, I just couldn't believe it. I just couldn't believe it, man. It's like this brother got shot at for refusing to go down on this lady right here.
Well,
I just couldn't believe it, man.
He got shot at for not returning a favor.
Yes, same deal. I mean, same thing, right? I mean, no means no, right? I mean, that's what they say.
Oh boy.
So there's a question for you. Have you ever refused?
How do I say this without by protecting my job at the same time? This guy right here. I will say this. As the single guy here, right? When you reject, like if a woman wants to like have sex and you reject that, I've been in cases where she gets super pissed off. It's like it's just really angry, right? I can name 3 different times where I essentially got like, was suggested. So I think I told you about one instance where it was an ex and she kind of gave me a booty call at like at 12 o'clock. And I know she had I told you the story. I know she had some issues. And I was like, I'm not going to do that. I told her, like, but if you have any problems, let's just talk, right? We can just talk and just talk about whatever issue that you're having. She wasn't having it, and she was super pissed off, right? And this kind of reminds me of that, right? Like when you like tell a woman no, you just get super pissed off. Again, don't cancel me. I'm not trying to generalize about telling women no.
Sexist bastard.
Do not cancel me for that shit. That's just been my experience as well.
So it's I think it's weird, right? So again, this is long time ago, foreign married, what have you. But it was like I've definitely had people say like, if I wanted them to do something to me, it was, hey, I don't do that, but you're free to do something, do that to me.
Yeah.
And I was just like, why would I? It's not going to be any return. So
yeah,
why would, what I'm saying? Like, so it's just kind of funny how like, on one side it's like, yeah, I don't do that. So we'll just keep it moving. But you say no, it's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? You know what I mean?
Like I said, I've been in that situation a couple times where I was like, yeah, I don't think this is a good idea, right? Just because I don't want someone to be too emotionally attached or whatever, right? And then that's when someone would just lose their shit and just like get just really, really, really angry, right? So
yeah, it's crazy, man.
It's
Yeah, I can't
unfortunate.
believe this dude got shot at, bro.
It's unfortunate. It's very unfortunate. Um, yeah, it's definitely very, very unfortunate. Trying my best not to go into too much
It's
detail.
funny. It's
Trying to
like
put my
both
ass
of
in the
us are
spot
just
there.
like, yeah, it's too bad. Taking a drink.
You suck, man. Oh man, you suck.
All right, real quick. I know we were supposed to cover it. I mean, not supposed to cover it a little bit, but with the playoff series going right now
Oh, okay.
for basketball, who you got? So
The
Celtics,
championship or the series?
the series right now. You got Celtics, Bucks.
Oof.
I bet my brother. I said Celtics. I was going Celtics.
That's not a
I'm
bad
going
bet.
Celtics.
That's not a bad bet, but it's amazing how they barely lost, and they lost a really close game.
Yeah.
So they're down 2-1 right now.
I can see this one being
Yeah,
a 7-game series for sure.
definitely. Well, I think there's gonna be a lot of 6-7 game series. I'm looking at the score between the 76ers and Heat right now. Like
Yeah.
76ers are up by what, 12 points? Um, so yeah. And by the way, Dallas just tied the series 2-2. I thought that the healthiest team would win the championship, and right now I think the healthiest team is, I think, Boston, and I think the Suns. They don't have any like major injuries there. Like 76ers, like Joel Embiid's back, but like I don't see them
I mean, the
like,
Suns, I feel like it's just a man. I'm sorry. I'm a fan of Chris Paul.
yeah, okay.
I'm a fan of Devin Booker. I
I
just
don't
think
like Devin Booker.
Chris Paul, low key, that guy might be cursed, man. Every year something happens with this guy.
Yeah, well, every
You know
year
what I'm
is
saying?
that time of year he gets hurt, right? Like I remember
He's
when
hurt.
they were up 3-2 on the Warriors when they had KD and he missed game 7. I was like, that's wow.
You know, I mean, he definitely deserves a ring.
Yeah.
I just don't. First of all, even if they win this series at the end now, which they probably will, I just don't see anybody getting past Golden State, man. I'm sorry.
Really?
They're
I
back.
mean, Golden
They're
State,
back. They're back.
I think Golden State seems a little bit normal. Like Jordan Poole looks like it's been really stepping up. Jordan
Yeah.
Poole, Andrew Wiggins, really good. Steph Curry's been there. Klay
Andrew
Thompson hasn't
Wiggins,
been his old
man.
self.
Andrew Wiggins, I'm back and forth on this cat. I'm back and forth on this cat. I'll be watching some of the games sometimes. This dude be. Sometimes he does. He's all over the place.
Yeah, I mean, I think their experience will get them past. Their experience will get them past the
If they get past the Grizzlies,
yeah,
they'll probably play. They'll
they'll get
probably
past the
play the
Grizzlies.
Suns. Yeah, if they get past the Grizzlies, I think they play the Suns.
John Morant's going to be out in Game 4, and they're already down, I think, 2-1 in that series.
3-1. It's going to be 3-1.
Well, I mean, I will say this: Memphis has done really well without John Morant too. Like they're like, I think they're
yes,
like
they
12-3.
Yes, they have.
They're like 12-3
yes, they have.
without him. So they can. They're a good team. They're a good team.
And I definitely think Golden State. First of all, Klay Thompson isn't playing as good as he should be. Okay.
Yeah, he's not as good as he has been in the past.
And Gary Payton is second.
He's out.
Real sad with what happened to that dude, man. I think he's out for like a month.
Yeah, he's out for a month. He won't be back until like the finals if they make it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. My opinion, but I feel like he's a big deal for that team, just from like a defensive standpoint, being the energy guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he was really coming in and doing a good job with John Morant. Like he was their guy to cover John Morant.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'll be curious to see how it looks like they adjusted, right? Because they beat the hell out of them the other night. It was like 142, 112.
I didn't even see the game.
So
But yeah, that was stupid. They beat the brakes off of him. Yeah, it's crazy.
yeah, yeah.
So yeah, no. No, I think the playoffs are good. So I will say this too, and you should. I'm trying to get you to watch to get you on like watching Bomani Jones on HBO now. I know you're a busy man.
Yeah, yeah.
Family. You should really. I think you should really take some time. It's a short series. It's only I think 6 episodes, 30 minutes apiece. I think you'll really enjoy it.
Half
Um,
hour? You said half hour, right?
half hour, yeah. So I think you'll really enjoy it. We're getting still no comment from a bot still. Naked HD XYZ. I need to do some. I don't know how to get rid of these bots. So we need to figure out how to get rid of these bots on freaking whatever. We don't have enough views to have bots.
Don't even matter.
Yeah. Right. No, but
Mike. There he is.
Oh. All right.
Okay.
Yeah. Let me freaking show you what's happening too with this mic thing. For you guys, I'm about to show like my screen. Do you see this part right here?
Close your eyes.
Hello?
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, it was just at 99%.
Yeah. This little CPU usage thing, that's what's causing. So every time this shoots up to like 100% or above 100%, that's when my mic shuts off. Right.
So, I mean, I don't know what else you have running, but it doesn't look like you have.
I have nothing running. The only thing I have running is my Zoom and my Chrome, and my Telegram app. So yeah, I think maybe Zoom and Chrome, because between Zoom and Chrome, there's just streaming here, and I'm streaming on like the Chrome app as well. That might be the reason why the CPU processors are going like bananas, but. Long story short, we already talked about this. I'm going to build a new desktop. So, from scratch. And that's how we solve that. Okay. Well, we're a little bit over our normal time. We had a lot to discuss about.
Basically,
I gave you shit about that topic. I gave you some shit about that topic, but that was pretty funny. I wish I didn't have a day job so I can go into more details. But
I mean, I just think it's funny. It's just like when in some situations, like when men say no, it's just like, oh my God, what are you doing? You know what I mean? But it happened, man. Sometimes you don't want to do it.
I mean, I will say this too. I mean,
deal with it. Deal with it.
I definitely don't want to generalize. But I've definitely been told no a lot, and I don't lose my shit, right? Like it's part of the game, right?
It's all the game. It's all the game.
Yeah, I mean, you get told no, like me bitching about it, like isn't gonna turn it into a yes, right?
I mean, there's definitely don't get it twisted. There's definitely those guys out there that can't handle the word no, right?
Yeah,
they get real ignorant. When they hear no, I mean, I mean, you're obviously not the type. I mean, nobody I know is that type of person. I've never been that. I mean, it's
would force themselves on someone. Yeah, absolutely.
Generally, the men are more the aggressor in that arena or whatever. But I just think it's funny that sometimes when women hear no, it's just like, what?
It's so funny that you talked about this though. And not about the Amber Heard Johnny Depp situation, because that's the other situation where she was the aggressor, right? Where she actually fought and threw shit at him and like hit him in the face, hit him in the mouth, hit him in the eye, or whatever, right? And he was saying that, yeah, I'm a victim of domestic violence, and she's on tape, caught on tape saying this, right? On tape saying, yeah, you try to tell people as a man, as a 180, 190-pound man that you're a victim of domestic violence. You go ahead, tell them, see who they believe. She specifically said that, right?
It's not gonna be you. It's gonna be you.
So, like, yeah. I mean, he lost, like, Johnny lost a lot of, like, endorsement deals for being a white beater, and you should never ever put your hands on a woman ever.
I mean, I suppose. He did his part too. I mean,
Yeah, he definitely did his part.
supposedly, allegedly.
He definitely did his part, but she also did her part, right?
Yeah.
And
But she gets to play victim, and he doesn't. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, she also like was a major part of the Me Too movement as well, right? Which is unfortunate because it kind of, I don't want to say it discredits that, not by any means.
Hurts it.
Let's be honest, like women are have the short end of the stick when it comes to like domestic violence. Absolutely, right? I don't think anyone will disagree with that.
It's hard they've made it hard to prove.
Yeah, but this is someone that's kind of taking a corner case of this, right? And using that to empower herself, right?
Yeah.
You help instigate domestic violence against a man, and then you're trying to play victim when there are so many other women who aren't in your position that aren't being heard, right? Yeah. And that's kind of the unfortunate piece of it. But yep, that's that. Let that be the show of the day.
And we have an episode. Thank you.
And we'll probably have another episode to go after this. I got to figure out what the hell's going on with these damn bots on YouTube.
It's random though. It's not like it happens every episode.
Yeah, I mean, I think some other episodes, like when we have like a politically charged episode, we had bots, but this came out of nowhere. Like, yeah, and this person's just kind of posting again. Like, yeah, I got to figure something out with that. Like, I don't know. Yeah, I was doing some YouTube research, and there are ways to like unsubscribe or like block bots. So I'll probably have to figure that out again. Yeah. But yeah, cool. Well, that's it for this episode. Thank you guys so much for watching and being a part of this. We should be back next week, right, Nicholas? Yeah.
We'll be here
next week. All right. Yeah. Next week, same time tomorrow. Same time next week. See you guys then. Till then.
Maybe we'll have our Bruce Wayne debate about who's the best Bruce Wayne.
That's actually a good one. Right. The best Bruce Wayne. We'll get an apology from an apology to whoever's wrong about Doctor Strange. So expect an apology from you next week. I want to iterate one more time. Doctor Strange was Sorcerer Supreme in
never in the comics. In the comics, absolutely.
Infinity War. Just saying he was. In the comics.
All right. He is the Sorcerer Supreme. It's like Spider-Man finally becoming the Spider-Man that we all know and love after the third movie in his trilogy, which, I mean, you know.
He's Sorcerer Supreme in the comics. He's Sorcerer Supreme in Infinity War.
He's never been the Sorcerer Supreme. He's still bowing down to wand.
That's true. It's okay. You'll be apologizing for it next week. So, all right. Thank you guys so much. See y'all later. Bye-bye. Let me awkwardly stop. So right now I'm trying to awkwardly stop. Not stop it. Yeah, keep bowing. Keep bowing.